Well, the first question about 4-3, 3-4, I think a lot of times way too much is made out of whether you're 4-3 or 3-4. That's just the amount of defensive linemen or linebackers that you put onto the field. We're going to be multiple in the way that we'll line up. We're going to do a lot of different things on defense. Again, we're going to be attacking and aggressive in a bunch of different areas, and so I don't really get hung up on the 4-3, 3-4 personnel. We're going to find out what our players can do the best. We're going to put them in the best positions that we can so that they can be successful and play the game at the highest level.
On your question on the contract, guys, I would not ever discuss contracts, players, coaches, either one of that. In that fact, but I will tell you this: I'm committed to Coach Dennis Allen and what we're going to do within the next few years.
Malaysia Bobino, sports editor for the Oakland Post. What are some of the key areas that you think are most important right now on both offense and defense? And then for Reggie, you said in your press conference, everyone is going to have to compete. Being as you both spoke with Carson Palmer, does that mean Jason Campbell is not going to be a part of this organization moving forward, or will he be?
Well, I think first of all, when you talk about key positions and key things that we've got to get addressed, obviously the most critical position in all of football is the quarterback position. And I'm excited at the fact that we got some guys here that I feel like are fully capable of competing at the highest level at the quarterback position. I think overall, offensively, I think we've got a pretty good nucleus of guys that we feel like that we can compete with. Obviously, there's going to be a few things as Reggie and I go through the personnel together. There'll be a few things that we're going to have to make sure that we address. I think specifically from a defensive standpoint, I think we've obviously got to look at some of the things in the secondary and make sure we got the right things in place there. But again, I think that we have the nucleus of a solid football team, and with Reggie and I working together and seeing things eye to eye, we're going to make sure that we get the right people in here and we got the right people to get the job done.
On your statement on Jason, he's a free agent, just like the rest of all the free agents. We're going to evaluate the situation. We're going to bring the best 80-man roster to compete. I mean, that's all I can tell you. Without naming names, but if Jason is one of those guys that we target, that we want him to compete, then we'll go after him. We're going to go after good players.
John Dickinson from 95.7 The Game. Coach, over here. You talked about some of the jobs and places that you have been where we mentioned 3-13 and 4-12. Here you're coming in with a team that's been 8-8 the past couple of years and a defense that struggled, similar maybe to last year when you took over a defense that struggled. Rate the overall talent from your view of the players that you have defensively. Do you have a playoff level talent you feel coming in?
Yeah, actually I do. I do think that we have playoff level talent. And again, just like any other year, there's always a couple of critical pieces that you got to make sure that you add to that team to give yourself a chance to be successful. And no different than any other situation. I do feel like that we have a nucleus of talent. Now, we've got some places that we've got to get better at. We've got some holes that we got to make sure that we fill, and that's what Reggie and I are going to be working throughout this offseason to make sure we bring in the best people and the best players to give us a chance to do that.
Hello, Dennis. Fred Inglis from KTVU. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Reggie said that you felt that he was targeting you. Did you feel the targeting? And are you ahead of your own personal schedule? At 39, is this where you thought you would be? Are you surprised that you're here where you are?
Well, first of all, I don't think you ever want to set boundaries on yourself. I'm excited about the opportunity to be here. And I don't think you can ever apologize for being young. don't set boundaries on yourself. Work hard, and just continue to do your best in everything you do, and good things work out. And I firmly believe in that. And so whether I'm ahead of my personal schedule, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ahead of my personal schedule or not, but I certainly am excited about this opportunity.
Coach, over here.
Okay.
Ray Woodson, KNBR. Coming from a divisional rival, how much of an edge does that give you? In fact, you've seen the other teams in the division.
Well, I think just the fact that I've been in this division is obviously an advantage for me. But at the end of the day, I mean, we've got to compete against the Kansas City Chiefs. We got to compete against the Denver Broncos. This is a very, very competitive division, and I'm glad that I had an opportunity to work in it a year so that I have a better feel for what we're going up against.
Scott, also from the Chronicle, San Francisco Chronicle. This team has always had a history under Al Davis at giving players a lot of personal freedom, latitude, what you would call it. You've been described as a disciplinarian. Is this going to be a kind of a shift, a change of culture under you?
I wasn't here with Mr. Davis, so I'm not. I don't know exactly how things were run. What I do know is that the way that I view that you coach players is you coach them firm and you coach them fair, and you hold them accountable to their actions, and that's what we're going to do here. I don't know how it was done in the past because I wasn't here, but I do know that that's what I believe in.
Coach, in the very far back, Vern Blancaro on TV, follow up on Scott's question, and I'm speaking hypotheticals. Let's say I am a gifted yet undisciplined football player here for the Raiders, making constant, just whatever. What do you tell me behind closed doors to get me on the right track?
Well, at the end of the day, we've got to have a discussion about we want to play the best players. We want to play the players that are going to make plays for us, and the players that are not going to give up big plays for the other team. And at the end of the day, if we have talented players that aren't competing and aren't making plays, then we have to look at making changes. And that's what being in the first year of your regime is all about. And we're going to evaluate every single player on this team, and we're going to do everything we can to get them to play the best that they can play.